Here's your textbook on the screen. We discussed is what is entry, but before entry, then we discussed that there are two notebooks in which accounts is written. One is called the journal.
Journal and ledger.
Ledger, correct.
Journal and ledger.
Correct. So when you are writing your transactions in the journal, it is called dash.
Entry.
Correct. And it's called journal entry. And when you write the transactions in the ledger, it's called
Posting.
Ledger posting.
ledger posting. Correct. So after transactions, the second word you were expected to learn was an entry. Okay. So meaning of the word entry. And then I discussed journal and ledger. Just to tell you, there are two notebooks to be maintained by any accountant. One notebook is called journal. There's a particular way in which you write the transaction in the journal, which you're going to study later. And ledger is another notebook maintained in which you write the same transaction, okay, but in a different way. And writing the transaction in the ledger is called posting. So you learned two new words, what is an entry and what is posting. After this, since we use the word goods, we discussed about the meaning of the word goods. So goods are those articles, those products, okay, in which the businessman deals. Means he buys that and sells that. So for example, I told you a cloth shop. In a cloth shop, the owner of that shop first purchases from either a wholesaler or from the manufacturer the cloth, the ready-made garments, trousers, shirts, or dresses, all this he buys, okay, and the same thing he later on sells it. So those are goods. So whichever article in which you deal, which you buy and sell, those you call them goods. Now we are consumers, we are users. When we buy, we don't call them goods, we give them name. If you go to a cloth shop and buy a shirt, you say I bought shirt, okay. You go to the furniture shop and buy a chair, you say you bought a chair. You go to the vegetable vendor and buy vegetables, you call it vegetables. But those people who are buying and selling, they call it goods, okay. That's the common word, and that's why we use the word goods, okay. Here I used another word whose meaning you're going to study later is trading. Did I tell you what is the meaning of trading, students? Anybody is going to make an attempt? Yes, Rujita. I think you want to say. Rutuja. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So trading means buying and selling. Trader. A trader is a person who buys and then sells. Okay. So we talked about transaction, we talked about entry, and because I wanted to explain entry, we used the word journal and ledger. Then we talked about goods. Then we talked about narration. Anybody remembers? What did I tell you about narration?
Brief explanation of accounting.
Of entry.
Whatever you write in a very technical way, as an accountant writes, for a lay person to understand, we write a brief description, meaning, and that is called a narration. So when something is written, under that in the bracket you write what is the meaning of the transaction, the entry, the posting. That's called narration. Just a small explanation. Okay. After this, did we discuss anything else, students? Yeah? Anything else?
No, this was it. Yeah.
This was it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So come on, let's start today's day with new words. Another word that you're going to use is capital. Okay. Come on, tell me what comes to your mind. Psychological test. I want you to know, did you hear this word capital before?
Yes.
Nothing to do with accounts.
The principal amount in the business.
Okay, this is what is accountancy. I'm talking about, did you hear this word capital before?
The
Yes.
capital city,
Capital.
Capital
The
city, yeah,
capital.
Capital of the
correct. Capital of the country, capital of the state, yes. So that capital you have heard. Now in accountancy, capital means the amount of money you have invested in the business. Again, I'm using another word, invested. So let's go on to a smaller word. The amount of money with which you have started the business, or the amount of money that you have today in the business. Now students, you are all dependents. Your parents are the ones who earn money either by working or they are doing a business. So the day they started the business, they required some money to start that business. And suppose they required 10,000 rupees to start the business. So that was their capital on that day. But capital does not remain constant. Every year, because of profits, the capital keeps on increasing. Okay. So suppose you started with 10,000 rupees and you made profits of 2,000 rupees. After spending for everything and covering up everything, you earn 2,000. So your capital becomes 12,000.
12,000.
Then later on, in another year, with 12,000 rupees every year, on the first day of every year, if you are following calendar year, then on 1st January, see how much money you have. And you say, okay, I started with 10. Last year I earned 2,000 rupees profit. And now I have 12,000 rupees. Then another second year, you do well, you earn 5,000 rupees profit. And from 12, another add 5, it becomes 17,000 rupees capital. 1 year, because of this lockdown and COVID-19 and lot of things happen, and you did not do business and you lost 2,000 rupees. So your 17,000 built up after 1 year, 2 years goes down by 2,000. Now your capital has become 15. So you will realize when you go on making profits, every year your capital goes on increasing. The year you make loss, your capital decreases. Okay. So capital is the total money that you have today. So in business, not in your personal bank account or at your house, not that. I'm talking about your business. Wherever your father, mother, grandparents started a business and they have a particular office somewhere, a particular business place or a shop, okay, or a showroom, whatever it is. What is the total money in that business on a particular day? That is their capital. So today you have no money, so you have no capital. But if you say, sir, I want to start a business and I have a pocket money of 500 rupees. I want to do something with this 500 rupees. I want to make small sanitizer bottles of only 20 ml and sell it. So with 500 rupees, I'm going to buy one big can of sanitizer and I'll buy small bottles, fill it up, and big bottle cost me 200 rupees. And when I put it in small bottles and sell it, I'll be able to make 700 rupees. So you started with 500 rupees and when you sell everything, you have 700 rupees. So your initial capital, the day you started business, you had 500 rupees. Today you have 700 rupees. So your present capital is 700. So this keeps on increasing year after year after year. Okay. So that is the meaning of the word capital. So if you see the book sentence, the total amount invested into business by the owner is called capital. Okay. So many a times you don't understand all this. So just remember, with whatever money you started business, that was your capital on that day. But it will either increase or decrease as the days pass. If you go on making profit, it will go on increasing. If you make loss, it will decrease. Now, if you go to a shop, a person who is a layman for accountancy, he doesn't know the rules of accountancy at all. Okay. And you are an expert there and you ask him, what is your capital? And that person will not be able to tell you. Okay. Now, have you heard about people making statements like this, that XYZ person, Ambani's, or Amitabh Bachchan or Shah Rukh Khan, they say his net worth is 5,000 crores.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Or
Yes.
this person is worth so much. So how does person make a statement like this, that Amitabh Bachchan is worth 1,000 crores? So how do you come to that conclusion that his worth is 1,000 crores? Any idea? Any guesses? Forget ideas.
His
Students, you are
annual,
here.
His total capital.
his annual income.
His annual income. Okay, that's one you said. Second, someone said his total capital. Okay,
His total capital over the years.
over the years. Okay.
The amount of money that his movie collected.
Okay, amount of money that he collected by acting in the movies. Okay. Come on, good answers. These are very, very good answers. That means you're thinking. Your mind is working. That's what I want. कौन बनेगा करोड़पति? अमिताभ बच्चन बन गया करोड़पति, isn't it? He was a करोड़पति, is a करोड़पति, and his crores are increasing year after year. Okay, if you listen very carefully, how much is Amitabh Bachchan worth? I use the word worth, correct? And then I also use the word net worth. Students, these are different words for capital. Net worth of a person, his capital, the amount of money that he has, and not 1 year's money. Okay, not his annual income. His income from the time he was born till today. So today, if you go and ask Amitabh Bachchan, what is your capital? He will be able to tell you this is the amount of capital that I have. So students, if you want to know someone's capital, are you going to tell me what is your bank balance and tell me how much money you have in your pocket and how much money you have in your tijori in the house? I want to count. Are you going to say this to that person, or is there another way of finding out capital? Okay, students, I'm going to give you a little homework today. If you want to know capital of the person, another word is net worth of that person, okay, is to know how much wealth he has. So make a list. Wealth. What all Amitabh Bachchan has. So he has cars, write down the value of that car. He has gold, write down the value of that gold. He has many bungalows, write down the value of those bungalows. He has bank balance, find out how much. He has money invested in shares, debentures, find out that. Find out how many offices he has. Get the valuation of each and everything that he has. So all is wealth. And in business, there is a new word for wealth. Anybody can guess what is that new word?
Assets.
Assets. Very good. So now you know the meaning of assets. So assets are all the wealth, all the properties, all cash, and whatever can be converted into cash by selling those properties. Okay, today's value. Find out. He has so many offices, so many buildings, so much land. Okay, so many cars, vehicles, gold, bank balance, everything. When you add, you get the value of his assets. You get the value of his property, wealth, net worth, capital. Have you all got that, students? So while you were understanding the meaning of capital, you now know the meaning of the word assets. Have you all got the meaning of assets? Can you describe it in one line for me? What are assets? Say it. Students, you are here to learn. And I told you, you are here to make mistakes. I want you all to make mistakes. Learning takes place by making a lot of mistakes. Eliminate wrong answers by bringing them out from
All the
your brain.
properties,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the properties that can be
Correct.
converted into cash are assets.
Very good. All the property that can be converted into cash are assets. Okay. Very good.
All the
Okay.
valuable things.
All the valuable things. Yes, all the valuable things. You are right. Nishita, yes. Who else? Another word, say the same
Entire
thing in a
wealth.
different word. Yeah? Anushka?
Wealth.
The entire wealth. Yeah. The entire wealth which can be converted into.
Correct. The entire wealth which can be converted into cash. You are saying it very well. I'm happy that you are all saying can be converted into cash. That's very important, which is not given in the book also, and yet you are saying I'm very happy with that. Very good. Can be converted into cash. Very good. Yes?
Anything and everything that has got value.
Okay. Anything and everything that has got value. Very good. Because students, your name has also a value. Correct? The name of any particular asset. Okay, one of them you're going to come across is the word goodwill, reputation. Okay, and I'll tell you one very, very small example on value. Students, there is this Vaishali on FC Road. Have you all been to Vaishali or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, na? Everybody at
Yes,
one
sir.
time or the other. Okay, and there is another hotel next to it also. Now that Rupali is there, or you have another one. Can you tell me the name? I'm bad at it.
Vadeshwar.
Ah, there you are. When you said Vadeshwar, then I know you know Vaishali. Okay, that was my way of knowing do you know Vaishali or not. Good. So you said Vadeshwar. Students, have you seen the price of masala dosa there? How much is masala dosa in Vaishali? Any idea or guess it? How much?
140 rupees. 140 rupees.
140 rupees. Have you eaten masala dosa in Vadeshwar?
Yeah.
How much?
130 or 140.
It's less. I think it's 120 rupees.
Yeah, like that.
Correct. Okay. So see, masala dosa here and masala dosa there. The price should have been same, but it is different. Vaishali is charging more. Vaishali charged 20 rupees more. 20 rupees is the value of goodwill. Have you all got that? What is goodwill? Reputation. They are making money on reputation. Students, another example I'll give you. You buy a shoe on which diamond is written. Okay? Company's name Diamond. And you buy a shoe which is called Nike. Which is more, Nike or Diamond?
Nike.
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 You are paying extra in
Nike.
fact. Diamond shoe will cost you 500 rupees. Nike will cost you 1500 rupees. You paid 1000 rupees extra. Why did you pay 1000 extra?
Brand.
For the reputation.
Brand.
For the brand,
Brand.
reputation, and the right word to be used is again goodwill. Okay?
Yes.
So you have seen that answer that you may not be able to see those things. You cannot see reputation. You cannot see goodwill. You only say brand value. Okay? Okay, brand is something, there is a symbol for it. But you cannot touch it. You cannot, lift it. You don't know the color of it. But yet it has value. Correct? So those are also assets. And they are called as intangible assets. I'm using another word, students. Intangible asset. Have you in mathematics in standard heard the word tangent?
Yes.
What is a tangent? Tell me. Define tangent. Come on, 10 standard mathematics.
A line
A line that
The
joins
line which on
the circle.
at
Yeah. Line
only
drawn.
one point.
a line
Yeah.
that
Will be
touches
a line
A
which
line
touches
joining
the
the
circle at only
circle.
1 point.
Yes. Yes. See that. My math students can never forget the definition somehow. Okay, very important. A line that touches the circle in one and only 1 point.
1 point.
One intersection in one single point. So if you say a line is passing through the circle, then it's not a tangent. What it is?
secant.
Yeah. Wow. Very good. Good answer. Yeah. So as I was telling you, that tangent word is it just touches, just touch. So any asset which you can touch is called tangible, and which you cannot touch is called intangible asset. Okay. So students, we were discussing capital, and from capital we switched on to the word assets, wealth. Okay. All these words you used. And in assets, there are two types, tangible and intangible. Tangible you can touch. intangible, you cannot touch, but it has value. So
Value.
anything and everything that has value is called an asset. Good definition. Okay. I wouldn't have defined this if I was not helped. Okay. So good. Now we have liabilities. Now, what are liabilities? Another word that we are going to use. Anybody wants to make a try? What is a liability? Okay. Students, any money payable by you to others is your liability. Any amount that you have to pay, payable. Have you all paid your electricity bill for the month? That is your expenditure, electricity bill if you have paid. If you have not yet paid, it is payable very soon. It's called a liability. You take a loan from the bank and you have still not paid that loan. It's a liability. Liability is something that you have to pay others. And it is exactly opposite of your asset. Students, if I tell you, students, I have sold everything now. All my assets and everything I have sold and I have put the money in the bank. So you don't have to now start making a list of what I have. You only have to see my bank balance and state my capital. So if I tell you, students, I have 50 lakhs in the bank, you'll say, sir, that's your capital because you don't have any other assets left. That's my capital. But slowly I tell you, but I have taken a loan from another bank of 10 lakhs of rupees. Then students, what's my capital?
40 lakhs.
40 lakhs. Correct. You're right. That is because what I have out of that 10 lakhs is not mine. I have 50 lakhs in the bank and 10 lakhs is someone else's money which I have to pay from that 50 lakhs. So I have actually only 40 lakhs and that is my net worth. I'm worth 50 lakhs gross amount. Okay. But I still have to pay a liability. My loan is outstanding. My loan has to be paid of 10 lakhs. That means I have only 40 lakhs and that is my net capital. So finally, students, if you see one equation there under that capital in the text, capital is equal to assets minus liabilities. Can you understand that equation now? What it means? Tell me.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So now, students, when you see one of your friends, one of your relative, or some big personality who is popular, and you look at him and he has Mercedes car, he has BMW, he stays in a big bungalow. Okay, his name is Vijay Mallya, suppose. Okay, now students, he has a lot of wealth here, there. But he has to pay to the bank a lot of money. So his capital is not what you see. If you make a list, he has many things. He has aeroplanes, he has ships, he has land, building, offices, a lot of things. Okay. But if he has borrowed a lot of money, his net worth may be very, very little. So don't look at only assets and declare a person is rich or his net worth is a lot. There could be one salaried person who earns 1 lakh rupees per month. His wealth could be more than the owner of the company in which he works, because maybe the owner has a building worth 50 lakhs and he has taken a loan of 45 lakhs. His net worth is only 5 lakhs, which is nothing. Okay. So capital is meaning is net worth. You have to see assets as well as the liabilities. You all talk about Mukesh Ambani, right? 5th richest man in the world, 6th richest man in the world. On day to day, it changes. Now he is 4th, it seems. Correct, na? Are you
Correct.
following?
Yeah,
Yes,
4.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fourth.
So that's because every day his net worth is changing. Either he is earning a lot of money or losing something, or the price of his company shares go up, come down. Okay. So, but he is in the top 10 all the time. Correct. His brother, what's his brother's name?
Anil Ambani.
Ah, good. You need to know all this, students. You have taken up commerce. So you need to know the best and the worst. I told you the other day, good, bad and ugly, everything. Okay. So his brother's net worth is not as much. When they started, they had equal amount of money. Their capital was almost equal. But now this person has been has assets, a lot of them, but he has a lot of liabilities also which he has to pay. He has taken loan from some banks, okay, and he has not paid some of his expenses, some taxes and all that. So from his total wealth, if you deduct his liabilities, his capital is very little compared to his brothers. So you need to exactly know what is the meaning of capital. So add the word assets to it, add the word liabilities to it, put them together and form this equation. Capital is equal to assets minus liabilities. So have you got this, students, now the meaning of the word capital?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
anybody sitting there? How much pocket money you have right now which you have accumulated either in your box, in your cupboard or in your pocket, or you have a small bank account? Anybody knows how much money you have today?
12,000.
Okay, Jasmine has 12,000 rupees accumulated from birthday gifts, from some interest on her account, and she's been earning small incomes, and today she has 12,000 rupees. That's her capital. Jasmine, have you to pay anything from that?
No.
No. So that is your net capital. Okay. So that is your capital today. Jasmine, after 1 month, I'll ask you how much money you have, and that will be the capital on that day. And if you tell me, sir, I have 12,000, but my mobile bill 1,000 I have not paid. So what will be your capital on that day?
11,000.
Yeah. 12,000 is your assets, and 1,000 was your
Liability.
liability because it is payable. So your net worth, your capital is going to be 11,000. Yes. So you can now use that equation to calculate capital. Okay, that's for your future. So next, let's go on to the next word, drawings. Now, first tell me, first time in your life, where did you hear this word drawing?
KG.
Art room.
Art. Okay.
Art.
Yeah.
KG.
In your school drawing period, huh?
Yes.
And drawing pictures. Correct? Yeah. That's in your life. Now, when we come into business, what is the meaning of drawings? Drawing is exactly opposite of capital. Students, we have an office, okay? We have a classroom. That is our business place. Right now, I'm in the house. But there is a classroom, house, that place is my business. And to do business in that place, I had to put my money and buy that place, buy furniture, buy fans, tube lights, benches, all that. And that is my capital, the total money that I have in the business. Every year I collect fees, I call that income. Okay. And my capital will increase whatever I save from that. And that is my profit. Now, but I require some money for my household expenses. I need money for petrol. I need money for my groceries. I have to buy my clothes. I have to pay my rent, electricity bill. I require some money for myself. And I take it from my business. I take it from the fees that I collect. And I give my wife every month 50,000 from there. So whatever I bring home, that amount is called as drawings. So in my classroom, there is one tijori in which I have about 5 lakhs of rupees. Okay. And I take 50,000 rupees from that and bring it home for my household expenses. That 50,000 will be called as drawings. So withdrawn, the word drawings has come from the word withdrawn. Whatever I withdraw from the business for my personal expenses. Students, if I withdraw money from the business for buying stationery for the office of my business, that is not called drawings. That's called expenditure. Only what I take for my personal use will be called as drawings. So you either use the word drawings or expenditure for the examples that I'm giving. Students, I buy stationery for my students for my business.
Expenditure.
Expenditure. I pay electricity bill from my business money of the classroom.
Liability.
Expenditure. I paid already, not payable. I paid. Okay, students, someone made a mistake. It's a good mistake. What you have already paid is an expenditure. What is payable yet to be paid is
Is
called a
liability.
liability. So very good. Students, I told you I'll make mistakes because it helps me to explain better. And second thing, whatever mistakes you're making is coming out of your head. You have a mistake inbuilt in your head. You have to take them out. The moment you take them out, the correct thing enters. So there is a thin line between a liability and expenditure. Have you got this now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good. So now I'm going to increase my example as per the situation. So as I said, I pay the salary of my office boy for cleaning the classrooms. What will you call that? Expenditure.
Expenditure.
Expenditure. Then students,
Expenditure.
I buy notebooks and newspaper for my class to give it to the students. What will you call that?
Expenditure.
Expenditure.
Okay. Then I pay petrol bill for my car which I use for coming to class.
Drawing.
No,
Drawings.
no, expenditure. I'm
That is
using the
an
petrol to come to the class, means I'm traveling for my business. Expenditure. Students, I pay fees of my son of the school.
Drawing.
Drawings.
Drawing.
Why did you say drawings? Yeah? Why did you say drawings? Because I used it for my
Personal
Personal
use.
use.
personal
Yeah,
use.
for your
Yes,
personal
personal
use.
use. Okay, then I pay rent of the classroom.
Expenditure.
Expenditure.
Then I pay rent of my house from business money.
Drawing.
Drawing.
Drawings.
Okay, correct. So now you understood the meaning of drawings. So students, all the sentences are there in the textbook. If you look at the textbook, okay, I hope everybody has got a textbook. Meaning of the word capital is there. Meaning of the word drawings are there. But I'm giving you examples because finally you're going to solve examples. And if you know the meaning, you will use the correct word. Expenditure in the right place, drawings in the right place. So example is given in the textbook also. Proprietor pays college fees of his son or pays his medical expenses, mobile bill, etc. from the business. This will be called drawings.
Drawing.
But if he pays the same thing for his business, he will call it
Expenditure.
good. So you now have got the meaning of the word drawings. Students, we have to discuss all this in greater detail only because when you go to solve the problem, you are going to find it very easy because you will use the correct word to write in your notebook, which you will call it journal. Yeah, in the beginning. And then later on, you will use the word ledger as well. So you need to know meanings of these words clearly, very clearly from business point of view. So now the next word after this is debtor. Okay. Did you ever hear this word debtor?
No, sir.
No, I don't think you must have heard this word debtor. Okay. And there is another word afterwards, creditor. There are two words, debtors and creditors. So let's define what is a debtor. Now, students, debtor is one person from whom you have to receive money. Okay. He is the person who has to pay money to a lot of people. So he is called a debtor. Anybody who has taken loan from the bank is a debtor of that bank. Anybody who borrowed money from me is my debtor. He is indebted. Any person who has to pay you money is your debtor. Okay. So a debtor is a person who has to pay money to others, okay, in future, sometime later. So that person is known as a debtor. A debtor is a person who owes money, not owns. Huh? not OWN. Owns money is the opposite. Who owes money? OWE. Who owes money means who has to pay money. I owe you means I have to pay you. Remember this. I owe you. Okay. I have to pay you money. So that person is your debtor. So students, in business, you have customers who buy goods from you on credit, who buy your product on credit, or who take services from you and say, I will pay you later. That person is your debtor. Now, all of you, I will call you my debtors. You know why? Because I have to take fees from you. Some amount of fees are payable by you to me. Don't worry, students, I'm not asking you to pay the money. I have told you all very clearly. No paying fees till you finish your admission in the college, till you find me good, till you find that the timings are convenient to you. These classes are absolutely free. Okay? And if you leave, I will not even call you to find out why did you leave the class. I will understand that. So don't worry, I'm just giving you an example. So in future, maybe after 1 month, when you finish all your college admission and all, and then it becomes due. Today it's not due. Today you're not my debtor student, because neither have I asked you to pay, nor there is a liability on your head payable. See, I'm using the word. Nor there is any liability for you which is payable, because I'm not going to ask you to pay fees this month. It is not due. It is not payable by you. You are not my debtor. But any person today borrows money from me, sir, can you lend me 50 rupees? And I give him 50 rupees. That person has to pay me money 50 rupees after some time. He has become my debtor. There is a shop. You are the owner of that shop. You have a shop, medical store. Okay. And someone comes and says, I want to buy medicines and I'll pay you after 1 week. That person is your debtor. Correct? So any person who owes you money is your debtor. And a debtor is either an asset or a liability. I'll ask you that question. So I'll tell you the answer. A debtor is an asset for you. Any money receivable by you that money is your asset.
Asset.
Your money could be in your pocket. It's an asset. Your money is in the bank. That's your asset. Money is with someone else. That's your asset. So if someone buys goods from you on credit, he becomes your debtor because he has to pay you money. Your money is with him. Your money anywhere is your asset.
Asset.
Yes. So remember that. So you know the meaning of the word debtor. Mostly in business, a debtor is a person who is a customer who has purchased your goods on credit. Okay. So maybe you are selling to many people. Those who pay cash, they are customers who paid you cash. They are not your debtors. Those who say, I will pay later, that person is your debtor. Okay. So debtor is a person who owes money. Debtor is a person who has to pay you money. These are the sentences you use. Opposite of the debtor is a creditor. Creditor is a person to whom you have to pay money. You owe money to another person. Correct? That person is your creditor. I can be your creditor if you have to pay me some money. Suppose I tell you, students' fees are due. Pay me your fees. Immediately I become your creditor and you become my debtor. Because for me, I have to receive money from you. You are my debtor. For you, you have to pay money to me. So I am your creditor. So creditors are mostly suppliers in the business. As I said, you have a medical shop. The company which manufactures medicine, okay, or the wholesale dealer who supplies you medicines and takes the money later, that person is your creditor. So a manufacturer or a wholesaler is a creditor for a retailer. Retailer is a person who sells his product to the customers, to the users. Correct? So Creditor is a person to whom you have to pay money. Debtor is a person from whom you have to receive
Receive the
money.
money.
Correct? So this is debtor and creditor. So will you be able to remember who's a debtor, who's a creditor?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
even if you think you will
Yes.
not remember, be positive. Positively say, yes, of course, sir, it's so easy. Debtor is a person to whom who has to pay us money, and creditor is a person to whom we have to pay money. A debtor is an asset and a creditor is a liability. You'll have to remember that as well. But of course, in future there are again ways and means to update that knowledge of yours. Now, students, a debtor is a person who has to pay you money. Is it 100% that he will pay you money, students? Someone borrows money from you. Are you 100% sure whether that person will pay you? Or you have a shop and many people are buying goods on credit from you. Do you think everybody will pay money? Each and every person.
No, sir.
No. Some may pay and some may not pay. So finally, there are two types of debtors right now. So, person who will pay and a person who will 100% not pay. Is there a third person also? Yeah?
No.
Someone will make part payment.
Someone will make part payment. Okay. Good thought. Okay. So students, there are three types, I'll tell you. One is 100% that person will pay. And that person is a good debtor. So a good debtor, a good customer is one who buys goods on credit but surely pays. You're 100% sure. So this person is called a good debtor. Okay. There could be a person 100% he will not pay because you have sold goods to that person on credit and we know this person has no money, absolute no money. He's lost everything in life. What do you call such a person? Anybody can use a word here? A person who cannot pay his debts.
Bad debtor. Bad debt.
Bad debtor.
Bad debtor. Okay. Yeah, you're right. But what do you call such people who cannot pay money what they have taken? They're helpless.
Insolvent.
Correct. Either use the word insolvent or use the word bankrupt. Student, if a person does business and he loses everything, he becomes bankrupt. He has absolute no money. Even the law forgives him at it when they find that he has nothing. He has no house, he has, other than his clothes, he has nothing. Everything is taken away. He had a car, the bank came and took his car away because he had taken loan. Whatever he had in the house, everything is taken away. And now this person is on the road. He has no home. He has nothing in life. This person also is forgiven by the law. The law will say, this person has been declared bankrupt, insolvent, and no money can be recovered from him. And then this person is in fact protected by law. Nobody can touch him. They cannot go and start beating him up and all that because the court has declared him to be insolvent. Finish. Because everything what he had is lost. He has nothing. You know that this money is not going to be recovered, and that amount is called as bad debts. Okay. A debt which is not recoverable is called as bad debts, and that person is called a bad debtor. But normally we do not use the word bad debtor. The amount of money which you cannot recover is called bad debts. So suppose you had sold goods of 5,000 to Mr. X and Mr. X has become bankrupt, insolvent. Use the word either bankrupt or insolvent. He's become insolvent. He cannot pay money. So that money you're going to lose. Your 5,000 is gone. 5,000 will be called bad debts. Your debt is gone bad. Okay. And the person is a bad debtor because he will not pay. Between the two of them, there is another type of debtor which is called as doubtful debtor. Okay. Doubtful. Students, all these words are very important when you're solving the problems. there are some calculations, there are certain percentages which you have to take, and having to know the meaning of all these words, very, very important. So a doubtful debtor is a person who may or may not pay. So you be prepared for the loss. So you have given 5,000 rupees to someone on loan. He is 100% sure to pay you 5,000. He is a good debtor, and whenever he takes loan, he pays you money. So he comes in the category of good debtor. Person, because of his problems, or maybe you lent money 5,000 to someone and that person is dead, and he did not tell anybody that he has borrowed money, and nobody knows he has taken money from you. So your money is gone. So if a person is dead, your money is gone. It's become bad. Your debt has become bad. And doubtful, there is a person who has a bad reputation. He says, I will pay, I will pay, I will pay, and he doesn't pay. So that person, you call him as doubtful. Normally in business, there's a percentage. Suppose now I have 50 students for tuition. Each one is supposed to pay me 1,000 rupees, and there are 50 such students. So total debtors 50,000. Okay. Now normally in business, when you have receivables from different people, every year you lose some amount in business. Even I lose. A lot of people join my tuitions. Some people pay their total fees. Some people, after joining tuitions for 3-4 months, they suddenly disappear and I don't get any money. That is bad debt. Whatever money I was supposed to receive out of 50,000, some amount is gone. And every year some amount goes. Normally I will decide a percentage. That normally 10% of the amount is not received. So 10% means I know every year I am going to suffer a loss called as bad debts, 5,000 rupees. Okay. And I'm not very sure of some people. They have money in the beginning, but later on something happens and all, and they come and say, I may not be able to pay you. What should I do? I may pay you if I get money. And such students are another 10%. So another 5,000 are called as doubtful debts. So 5,000 is gone. 5,000 I may or may not get. That is doubtful debt. And remaining 40,000 I'm sure to get. So those are good debtors. These are estimated figures, students, in accounts. Normally when they give you a problem, they'll give you a percentage to find out how much will be bad debts, how much will be the doubtful debts, and finally the leftover is good debts. Good debts are never calculated. From the total debtors minus bad debts and minus the doubtful debtors. The remaining is good debtors. Okay. So debtors are of 3 types. And in discussion, you all learned a new word, bad debts. Now, can you define bad debts? In your own words. I like your own words. Students, I want to learn from you as well.
The amount of money that cannot be recovered.
Very good. Clear-cut answer and a very good answer. Amount of money that cannot be recovered from debtors. Okay. Is bad debts. Good. Okay. Let's go back to the text and see what is another word. After capital and drawings, we discussed debtor, creditor, and we discussed bad debts. And students who are good at learning by heart and all can always, an irrecoverable amount from a debtor is known bad debts. But many a times, if you cannot remember the book sentence, you have your own sentence to say what is a bad debt. Students, knowing the meaning is very, very important. Otherwise, you tend to learn by heart and pass. And then you forget and you don't know what to say. In commerce, talking is most important. Saying things right or wrong is very, very important. So always answer. Even if your answer is wrong, I have a lot of advantage in that. I also get to know what is in your mind. Okay. Moreover, from your mind, the wrong answer goes out. I get a chance to explain also. I love to explain, but I should know what I should explain. So if you give me the wrong answer, immediately I know what have I to explain. So we join tuitions, we write a test. Okay, students, not because you come there to learn or know what you know. you write a test, you come to the class to know what you don't know. Remember, okay? So when you write a test of 100 marks and you score 95, that 95 came to you naturally. It is a 5% which you lost, which you have to make a study and find out what was wrong in that 5%. And once you know what was wrong, automatically you know what is right. So finding out wrong is what we are all here for. So that's what we will all find out. To learn the right, you should know what is wrong as well. So we go on to the next meaning of the word expenditure. That's the last one. Can you tell me, you heard me using this word expenditure, expenditure, expenditure. In simple words, can you tell me what is an expenditure?
Amount which is
Money
already
used
paid.
for
Whatever
Amount
you
used for
spend.
the purpose of
the
business.
amount
Yeah.
spent.
Amount spent for the purpose of business.
Okay. Amount spent for the purpose of business. Whatever you spend, no, students, is called expenditure. Expenditure are of two types and all that. I'm going to come to it later on. Right now, whatever you spend, you have some money in your pocket. You spend that money, it's called expenditure. Okay. Even if you don't have money in the pocket and you buy something, it is your expenditure. So students, suppose you pay for a pen in the stationery shop. It's an expenditure. Then you buy a notebook from the same shop and tell him, I will pay later. That also is your expenditure. Whatever you consume, whatever you use is called an expenditure. So it is not just the amount of money spent. It's a very broad term. Expenditure, we are going to talk about it for more than 15 minutes on Wednesday. More than 15 minutes. Because expenditure is a very, very big word. It is just not the payment. It is not just the money that you lost to get something. It's a very, very broad term. Think about it and also read what we studied today. Okay? And tell me on Wednesday so that I get to learn something new from you. I must learn something new from you on Wednesday. Okay? So read up, discuss it with your friends, with your parents. See if they tell you something new. Please tell me so I also become a good teacher in future. I have learned a lot of things from my students and I want to still learn from you people. Okay? So students, it's already 11 and almost. We will see you on Wednesday. Any doubt, difficulty? Any questions, students? Any suggestion?
Sir, I have a question, sir. May I ask?
Yes, please. Gautam, can I introduce you?
Yes, sir. I don't mind, sir.
Students, you need to know one very, very interesting thing. Gautam is, or rather was, my student many, many years ago. Was it 1987 or 88, Gautam?
Sir, 1988. 1990, I passed out in the 10th. Passed my
Okay.
10th.
So,
So I have been
Gautam,
your student from 1986 onwards.
okay. So, student, Gautam is a very, very successful lawyer. Huh? By the way, if you Google this name, okay, you will find that he's a very, very successful lawyer. Okay, I don't know if I'm using the right word, advocate, lawyer, or anything else, Gautam, I can use?
No, sir. Advocate is the appropriate word.
Appropriate.
Someone who practices in the court and who has a sanad will be called as an advocate.
Okay.
And somebody who has a law degree
Huh.
and who can advise on law, he will be a lawyer.
Okay, great. Today I got to learn that from you. Thanks. So, student, he was my student from 86 onwards. He's extremely successful advocate. It's a family law business from his grandfather's time. They are very, very well known. Google this name, Gautam Karnik, and you will find his name in Times of India. I've been following that. And he is with me because somehow he loves me a lot, likes my lecture, and once in a while he likes to converse with me and he says, sir, I want to see you teaching. I just love your teaching. That's why he is on this group.
Yes, sir.
And there are a lot to learn from him, students. Lots to learn. And for me, it's a big, big pleasure that I have him on this group. And you people are extremely lucky to learn something that you are a student all your life. In fact, I tell myself a good teacher is one who's a student all his life. You are learning every day, every single day. So, and we learn from one another a lot. So, I will tell you a lot about Gautam, but he has a question. Yes, Gautam, go ahead.
Sir, when you said that a creditor will be an asset.
No, creditor will be a liability.
That's exactly what I wanted to ask. Because I believe that the creditor will be my liability.
Yes.
Because I owe him money.
Correct.
And a debtor will be my asset.
Yes.
Correct. Then my doubt is solved.
Clearly, debtor is an asset and a creditor is a liability.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There's lots to learn from you, Gautam. Lots to learn from you. I'm so happy.
Thank you so much, sir.
So, students, Gautam has a daughter who's also doing law. She's in 4th year law. Okay. So, his daughter is also very elder to you. Okay. You all are just past 10th standard and she's past her 3rd year law. She's into 4th year. Okay.
Right.
And even he feels there's always scope to study something. Okay. So, you people just imagine you have years and years ahead of you, but always be keen to study. And Gautam, even I am a student now, just started to learn music. I told you
That's great, sir.
I started in January. It's been now more than 6 months. And there are students here who could be my teacher as well in music.
Correct, sir.
Yeah. So students, anything else you would like to ask Gautam, because you will not get this opportunity. Gautam is a very, very busy advocate. It's very difficult to get his appointment. If you want to visit his office and say, we want to talk to Gautam sir, they'll tell you your appointment is on 5th of November. Come on that day. So you have an opportunity. Ask him fast. Something you should make it a point to ask him.
So they're too young to have. They don't need lawyers right now.
No, but they need advice.
Yeah, true.
But I think they are a little bit, shocked. So
True.
We'll tell them to get back to you sometime later.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So students,
thank you,
thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yes, sir. Bye,
Bye.
sir.
Bye.